ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Faces and Heels, your podcast for professional wrestling here on the KB Radio Network. I am your host, Kevin Reed, and night 2 of WrestleMania XL is in the books, which means WrestleMania weekend is over and done with, and we begin a new era in WWE. How is everybody doing? How do you feel about this weekend's WrestleMania? This has been a very interesting WrestleMania. This was what can I say? Night 1 was good. Night 1 was very good. I enjoyed night 1. Night 2, it was bookend fairly well, with some sprinkles of good stuff in the middle. I was not over amused with night 2, but night 2 had night 2 had probably the greatest main event in WrestleMania history. Can I go that far? I don't know. WrestleMania 17 was kind of epic, but it's up there with that. Is up there with Stone Cold turning heel at WrestleMania X7. I think that was in Houston. I was at that WrestleMania. It was something to behold. But this was epic. And we'll get to that awesome main event. But before that, we had 5 other matches. Well, technically 6, I guess you can say. And we'll touch in on that sneaky 6 match that nobody expected. But night 2, we had a singles match for the World Heavyweight Championship to open up the show, and it was between our champion Seth freaking Rollins defending that championship against Drew McIntyre. And this was the match that I was very, very interested in after last night, after night 1 of WrestleMania, because Seth was just in this grueling tag team match, him and Cody going up against the Bloodline. All right, how will he fare against Drew McIntyre, who on your best day is going to give you the beating of a lifetime? So if you banged up, it's not going to look too good for you. And sure enough, that was the case. Now, this match had a special guest at commentary, CM Punk, who is wrapped up in this little storyline with Drew McIntyre and Seth Rollins, but more Drew McIntyre than anything, being as though Drew McIntyre is the one who, quote unquote, injured CM Punk at the Royal Rumble. And it has been kind of a back and forth with them on Raw. Drew McIntyre just unleashing on CM Punk on social media for the past couple of months. It's been epic. It's been fun. It's been a new Drew McIntyre that I enjoy immensely. And so with Drew McIntyre jumping on Seth Rollins for the past few months, or for the past month actually, and telling him that he has no focus on the championship and he needs to, focus on him because he's the one that's going to take him on at WrestleMania and blah, blah, blah. But in the same token, you have Drew McIntyre, who isn't focused on the championship either. He's more focused on CM Punk. It's just been a back and forth with those two. And even throughout the match, we get a back and forth with those two. But this match started off hot. The first 6 seconds, Drew McIntyre hit a Claymore on Seth Rollins, got a 2 count. I was like, okay, here we go. We're starting off hot, and the match never let up. It told the story. It action throughout. They never slowed down. This was a 10-minute match. Didn't go long, and it didn't need to go long. This was the right amount of this match. It was exciting. It told the story. We had near falls. We had kickouts of finishers, and the story going on outside of the ring with CM Punk dropping bombs on commentary. It was electric. But in the end, Drew McIntyre defeats Seth Rollins for the World Heavyweight Championship. And it was a kind of an emotional moment when you saw Seth Rollins, after he left out the ring, turned around and told Drew McIntyre that you earned this, you deserve this, you know. And you're like, yeah, he did. He did. He does deserve this. Drew McIntyre uh had his moment, but it was in an empty arena, not even arena. It was in a performance center during COVID, in the COVID mania that was just embarrassing. It was embarrassing, but I mean, they had to do it, I guess. But overall, it was a nice moment. But Drew McIntyre just couldn't resist. He confronts CM Punk on the desk, um, talking trash to him and whatnot. And CM Punk takes off his arm brace, which I predicted. I figured that he was letting on that he was quote unquote hurt. And he attacked Drew McIntyre, beat him down, and all of a sudden Damian Priest music hits, which was another prediction that I had. I figured that Damian Priest, because he has to get off of that briefcase soon, because you only have a year, and we're coming around to Money in the Bank in the next month or so, isn't it? Isn't it May or June? I forgot, but I know it's coming up soon. And so he had to come up off that briefcase. And, and sure enough, he cashed in on Drew McIntyre and wins. And the celebration on top of the ramp with the rest of Judgment Day was awesome. It really touched my soul, because everybody remember and think back when Judgment Day was formed, when Edge was in the WWE, and it looked like it was just a dumpster fire of a faction, and all of a sudden it just suddenly caught fire, and they're just one of the best factions in WWE. You know, Rhea Ripley, you know, being a dominant women's champion that she is, got a stronghold on that division. Dominic Mysterio being the biggest heel in WWE. Damian Priest and Finn Balor, up until night one of WrestleMania, was holding down the Undisputed Tag Team Championship. I mean, they were doing so much and were one of the most dominant factions in WWE. And Damian Priest holding on to that briefcase, so at any moment he can become a champion. So it was just a waiting game. And when he cashed it in and they're celebrating at the ramp, and Rhea Ripley reaction was just so genuine. You know, it was so real. It really sent chills up my spine. You know, I'm like, man, they are so happy for him. And Finn Balor, just so happy. They were so, I mean, this is real. This wasn't storyline, scripted or whatever. This was real excitement for Damian Priest, and I'm excited too. I'm a fan. I've been a fan of his since NXT. Never expected him to get to this height of championship level, I guess I could say, or try to say, but he do deserve it, and it's awesome that he has arrived. And so the Drew McIntyre Seth Rollins portion of all this, that match gets 3 3/4 stars out of 5. I really enjoyed that match. It was great storytelling and action throughout the match. I'm not gonna grade the cash in. The cash in was the cash in, but it was cool. It was a cool cash in. That's what Money in the Bank is for. Yeah, it was used properly, and best moment possible, man. WrestleMania, the best possible moment you can cash in. I feel sorry for Drew McIntyre, but you know, I'm more than certain this is not over. We move on to the match of the entire weekend that I was I had zero interest in. And after watching it, I still feel the same way. It was the 6-man tag team Philadelphia street fight between the Pride, which consists of Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits, versus the Final Testament, which consists of Karrion Kross and the Altars of Pain. This was horrible. This was the worst match in possibly WrestleMania history. And yes, I am thinking of the bra and panty matches from the Attitude Era. I'm thinking, those horrible matches there. They had mud wrestling matches and all this. Those were better than this. This was horrible. And I feel so bad for everybody involved here. Because everybody involved, all 6 participants, are talented individuals. And they deserve better. But this match was horrible. You had a special guest referee here with Bubba Ray Dudley. Smart move. We're in Philadelphia, home of ECW. Had a Dudley boy there. Was hoping that Devon Dudley would come in as well to kind of spice things up and save it, but it didn't happen. Instead, we got Snoop Dogg on commentary for reasons. I mean, it was so many botches in this match. So much. It was just messy. And I'll revert back to my recap and review of night 1 when I discussed the 6-pack challenge for the tag teams championships. It was too messy. It's too much going on. And same thing here. It's too messy. It's too much going on. There was a portion of this match where the Pride were gaining up on Karrion Kross, and I'm sitting there for like 5 minutes wondering, where is his squad? Where's the Altars of Pain? What is going? Just went this drug on. They tried to set up a table. As soon as Karrion Kross laid on the table, it broke. Okay, they had to redo that. It was just a mess of a match and was not worth my attention, your attention, or anybody else's who was watching or in attendance at this event. The Pride coming out victorious over the Final Testament and a 6-man tag team Philadelphia street fight gets 1 3/4 stars. Yeah, it was horrible. It was so boring. It was so boring to watch. When it was over, and they knew it was boring because it was the shortest match of the night. They cut it short. It was that bad. It was that bad. It didn't need to take place. It did not need to take place at WrestleMania. They could have did this anywhere else and I wouldn't have cared. But the fact that it was in WrestleMania makes it horrible. All right, we move over to our singles match between LA Knight and AJ Styles. A grudge match, if you will, a brawl, if you will. This was a good setup to this match, a match that on any other day I wouldn't care. This was like a SmackDown beef, but these 2 performers went out there and showed that they deserved to be on the card at WrestleMania. This was a really good match. They moved. And these 2 wrestlers are 40 plus years old. I think AJ Styles is my age. I think he's 45, 46. Can't tell, but he's up there. LA Knight is, I think, 41 or 42 years old. These are old men by wrestling standards, so for them to get in the ring and put on a show, put on a clinic from beginning to end, the match never slowed down. It was a fight throughout. It very interesting, really kept me interested the entire match. They told a story, had great action, some good spots throughout, but in the end, LA Knight comes out victorious over AJ Styles. I really enjoyed this match. I didn't think I was, but I did. and I'm happy that they put it on the card. This match gets 3 stars. Really good match. Really good match. I thought it was, very impressive, man. I guess I'm ranking it on the scale of shock value because I wasn't expecting much out of this match, and I really, really enjoyed it. Yeah, good job from LA Knight and AJ Styles. The one thing about AJ Styles that kind of upset me is the fact that AJ Styles is not, he doesn't have a real good WrestleMania record. his WrestleMania record is kind of poo poo. But it's AJ Styles. He's over. He's done it all. I mean, what more could you ask from him? But he really did put on a really good performance as well as L.A. Knight. Yeah. And so we move on to our triple threat match for the WWE United States Championship. Logan Paul, the champion, takes on Kevin Owens and Randy Orton in this triple threat match. Look, as I've said numerous times before, Logan Paul has impressed me immensely since he became a WWE superstar. He really puts in the work and he really does a great job in the ring, and he sells. He gets it. Logan Paul gets it. I get why people don't like him. I trust me, I get it. But he gets the business. He gets the role, and he leans into it, and he is great at it. I mean, you got to give the devil his due here. He is great at what they have him doing in the WWE. This match was really good. It had some good spots in it. The inclusion of what's old boy name? He kept saying his name, Speed or something like that. Some Speed. I don't know his name. I don't care. But him included in his match, who's a friend of Logan Paul, or he's an influencer or whatever. I don't care because this isn't the first time they've done this. He's had other influencers come and interfere in matches, and I'm sitting there like, why? Why every man? That's the only knock I have with the Logan Paul deal. Why does he have to use these YouTube content creators and social media influencers in the match? Doesn't make sense to me, but whatever the case may be, because it takes away from the match. This match would have been great had not that been included. Now, did it disrupt the pace of the match? No, it didn't. I just didn't care for it. It had no bearing on the match other than the fact Logan Paul retained his championship. And I don't know, whatever the case. Yes, Logan Paul retains his United States Championship by defeating Kevin Owens and Randy Orton. And this match, despite all that, gets 3.25 stars out of 5. It was really good, and it could have been better. That dude just irked my nerves when they took the little mask off of the little mascot thing. I'm like, who is that? I'm like, who is that? Unless you are deep in the lore of YouTube. Now, from what I've looked up, I think the dude has like 40 million followers or something like that. So apparently a lot of people know him. I don't, but it is what it is. But I just didn't, it made no sense to have him in WrestleMania. But I felt like that night one with Jason Kelsey and Lane Johnson. Now, what was the point of them being in that match? They could have been in any other match. Why in that match? The celebrity guest spots in WrestleMania this year was poo poo. We didn't have no really good celebrity spots. The main event not included. Those aren't celebrities. That's more of a nostalgia bomb. But we're almost there. Trust me, we're almost there. Our next match was for the WWE Women's Championship, where Io Sky to put her championship on the line against Bayley, the two who were former members of Damage Control. Well, Io Sky is still a member of Damage Control, but Bailey, being the former leader of Damage Control, taking on her apprentice, I guess you could say, in this match. Really good match too. This was also a real good match. Storytelling wise, they had some good spots there. Becky, Bailey selling the leg throughout the match. Uh, Io Sky countering everything that Bailey was trying to do to her. It was really good, really good. Wasn't as entered. I don't know. It didn't have a lot of energy. I was expecting more energy, but it was good. It never got boring throughout the match. I think the only problem we had throughout the match was Bailey not being compatible move wise with Io Sky, because Io Sky is more of a high flyer and uh Bailey isn't. So, but Bailey can work with anybody. She made it work, but they really weren't that compatible in the ring that I thought they were going to be. Even though I felt it was a good match. It was a good match, but it did need a little something extra. I felt that with this ongoing beef with Damage Control should have had more of an effect on this match. Now, with that being said, this was a one-on-one straight up fight. There was no influence. Bailey beat Io Sky clean, which I guess you have to do in these situations. But I would have felt a little better had Damage Control came in and tried to assist Io Sky with the win, to continue that story going. But, I'm just nitpicking at this point. But it was a really good match. That leads us to the main event. That leads us to what we all been waiting for all weekend, all year, really, since last year's WrestleMania. Bloodline Rules match for the undisputed WWE Universal Championship. The head of the table, the tribal chief, Roman Reigns, defends his championship against Cody Rhodes in this Bloodline Rules match that was set up due to the tag team match from the night previous, where the Bloodline came out victorious. I was very curious on how this match would go. I was very I'm not going to say nervous, but I was kind of concerned that this wasn't going to deliver on the level that they hyped it up to be. I was wrong immediately. I was wrong with the interest of the, with the intros to these two superstars. Cody's intro was so epic. I mean, I got chills. I got teary eyed. Nothing fell, but my ducks got filled with water. I was just so impressed because it was very Triple H's. It was like an homage to Triple H, and it had levels to it because we all remember, you all know, if you're a fan of wrestling, what he did when he first left WWE a few years back. The first thing he did was take a sledgehammer to the throne, to signify the destruction of Triple H or whatever. And for him to come full circle, WrestleMania, the first WrestleMania under Triple H's regime, and come out with that skull helmet on, the same kind of skull helmet that Triple H wore when he came out a few times at WrestleMania in the past. It just, I don't know, man. It just touched my soul. Roman Reigns had an awesome intro. It was nice. It was a good setup, and they both came out solo. Not solo Sokoa, but they came out on their own. And I'm like, okay, where's the bloodline? I thought this was Bloodline Rules, whatever. What's the point? But once again, this match started off hot and it stayed hot. This match lasted 33 minutes. And the first 20 or 15, let's be fair, about the first 15 were just one on one, Roman and Cody going at it, spilling outside of the ring, going through tables, setting up tables, Roman putting the table back under the ring, finishes, kicking out of finishes, near falls, nice spots throughout, perfect selling, perfect storytelling. They could have stopped it right there, and this would have been a 5-star match. But that wasn't enough. That wasn't enough. We get the first interference. It came in waves, and that's what I appreciated. We get our first interference with Jimmy. Jimmy Uso comes in, super kicks Cody when he's about to deliver the crossroads. We get a near fall out of that. All of a sudden, Jey Uso music hits, and he goes and they attack each other on top of the ramp. Jey Uso spears Jimmy off of the ramp through the tables. Oh my God. I'm like, okay, this is getting crazy now. All right, we go back to the ring. Cody and Roman are going at it yet again. Cody is getting the upper hand. Solo shows up. Solo delivers the spike, drags Roman on top of Cody. We get a 2 count. Solo gets Cody again, stands him up. Roman spears him, and Solo spikes him at the same time. Roman covers. We get a 2 count again. I'm like, oh my God, this is killing me. This is so stressful. And so Solo's about to do something else again. All of a sudden, John Cena's music hits. John Cena comes back, and this was set up months ago with John Cena taking on Solo Sikoa at one of those premium live events. I don't remember which one it was. But Solo, did Solo beat him? I think Solo beat him. And this was set up from there. And you're like, okay. So Cena is able to get the upper hand on Solo. He even went as far as to give the AA to to Roman. Then he goes outside of the ring, gives the AA to Solo through the table. And you're like, oh my God, this is getting crazy. And then the Rock music shows up. It starts to play. The Rock comes out. Oh man. And this is a throwback to their epic showdowns in the 2 WrestleManias back to back, when that was in 2005, 2006. I don't know. I can't even remember, but it was a while back. The last time The Rock wrestled, in fact. And so that was a nice touch. The Rock hits the rock bottom on him, takes out Cena. All of a sudden, the Shield music hits, and you like, wait, is Jon Moxley back? I mean, it's as crazy as things are going on. Look, all bets are off at this moment. You know, if Seth and John Cena or Jon Moxley, or what WWE fans know as Dean Ambrose, comes back, it wouldn't have shocked me. But it was just Seth. But that was a waste of time because he only lasted 3 seconds when he entered the ring with the chair and he got Superman punched for his troubles. So that was that. So The Rock is about to whip Cody Rhodes yet again with the muscle belt, and we hear the gong. And oh my God, man, the lights went out, the lights came back on, and it's The Undertaker. And he choke slams The Rock. The lights go out again, the lights come back on. The Rock and The Undertaker are gone. They're gone. And then we get Cody and Roman yet again. Cody gets the upper hand, hits 3 crossroads, and 1, 2, 3, and the new. undisputed WWE Universal Champion Cody Rhodes. Oh my God. It is Samantha Irvin. God bless her. She couldn't even get it out. She was overcome with emotion. Michael Cole was overcome with emotion. We had baby faces coming out of the back, lifting up Cody on their shoulders. Cody got to hand the championship belt to his mom, something he promised he would do. I forgot to mention Brandy was there. She was at the entrance and she came back at the end in the ring with him. It was just epic. It was finishing the story. And I can honestly say this was the greatest main event in WrestleMania history. I honestly cannot pick one. I like I said, I would say Stone Cold turning heel, but that was more of shock value type thing. It for that reason. But as far as a satisfying story, a satisfying end to a story, this was the greatest. This was the greatest. I nothing compares to this. Um, and this was clearly an end of an era in the beginning of a new one. Uh, Bringing out The Rock, bringing out Cena, bringing out Undertaker, bringing the bloodline story to an end. All of that signified the end of an era, and we began anew. And look, I'm getting choked up thinking about it. I'll tell you, I love this is why I love professional wrestling. This was so epic, and it hurts, but it's exciting at the same time that this is the end of the bloodline as we know it. Now, it may continue on in some form or fashion, but as far as this storyline that has been going on for the better part of 3 years is over. We're moving on. We have a new champion. We have a new boss in charge. Everything is changing, and it's exciting and scary at the same time. But whenever there is change, there's always a level of fear, and so I'm excited to see what's next. The Bloodline Rules match for the undisputed WWE Universal Championship, where we crowned a new champion in Cody Rhodes, gets, are you prepared for this? 5 out of 5 stars. This was a perfect match. I know there's going to be some detractors that feel that it was too much shenanigans at the end with all of the interference and people coming out and all this here. Look, I get it, and you have a valid point. But I love the story. I love this story. And there was no other way for this to happen but this way. When you sit back and think about it, it's really no other way this could have happened. Cody couldn't have won last year in the way that match was. He couldn't have won. It wouldn't have felt genuine. This feels good. This feels like Cody earned it. He earned it. He went through everything to get it. And that's why I love it in this manner. Yes, 5 out of 5 stars for this main event of WrestleMania. WrestleMania as a whole, it was good. This was a really good WrestleMania. Was it great? No. No, it wasn't great, but I will say this is one of the better WrestleManias in the past, I don't know, 5-6 years. This was a really good show. Both nights, even the matches that were lackluster, take them, put them to the side. The good outweighs the bad. It was really entertaining. I enjoyed sitting down both nights and enjoying WrestleMania. Now what's to come? What's the new stories? What we got? What new storylines we got going on? We have a new World Heavyweight Champion in Damian Priest. We have a new WWE Women's Champion in Bayley. We have new tag team champions. We have who else is new? We have a new intercontinental champion in Sami Zayn. We have a lot of new going on. We have new factions that have formed. With the big three, with Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill and Naomi. We have question marks surrounding the bloodline. What's next for the bloodline? It's a lot. There's a lot going on to bounce off of. So it's an exciting time in WWE, in the WWE universe. And so strap in, man. Enjoy the ride. Triple H is now the captain of this ship, and we are in the Triple H era. I would like to know, how did you enjoy WrestleMania as a whole, both nights? But what was your favorite match? Did you appreciate Cody Rhodes finishing the story? Are you happy with the way it happened? Are you happy with the way Roman Reigns finally was dethroned? And I want to say this before we get out of here. I was meaning to say it earlier. Hats off, man. Acknowledge him. Acknowledge him. Roman Reigns was one of the greatest champions in WWE history. 3 years this man held that belt. 3 years. And he carried this company throughout. And at no point did you get tired of Roman Reigns being a champion. I didn't. I didn't. He really, really reinvented the wheel here. He really made it tough for anybody else who holds that belt. There is a bar that he set. And God bless whoever else, Cody or whoever else who's going to hold that mantle going forward. But Roman Reigns deserves our acknowledgement. He deserves our love, and he deserves his flowers. Kudos to him, man. God bless him. But I would love to know your thoughts on WrestleMania. Email the show, kbradiopodcast@gmail.com. You can also look up the show on all social media platforms. Just search for the KB Radio Network. Also, subscribe to the KB Radio Network channel on YouTube and like this video if you don't mind. Don't forget about the 5 stars, the reviews, and sharing this show if you're listening on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, wherever you are currently listening to Faces and Heels here on the KB Radio Network. Everybody, thank you for joining me this weekend as we reviewed night 1 and night 2 of WrestleMania XL. Oh man, now I can finally get some rest and go to work. Gotta go back to work on Monday. But this was an exciting weekend. I loved every minute of it. Everybody be good. Can't wait to speak to you on the next go around for the next premium live event that I have no idea what it is right now, but whatever it is, it is. I think it's Backlash, ain't it? It's normally Blacklash. But I'll speak to y'all then. Enjoy the rest of your day, your evening, your month, your week, whatever. Peace out.